Hey guys, welcome back to the Gloria Living channel. My name's Hannah and today we are going to be building a project for our garden this spring. So I've been trying to brainstorm on how I can get my strawberries off the ground but also be in buckets and just make something that is aesthetically pleasing. So I am not much of a builder, not much of an engineer, but we're going to see what we can get done today. I've been drawing out some plans and figuring things out and I think I've got an idea. So come along with me and I'm going to show you what we do. Well guys, it is just an absolutely gorgeous day here in East Tennessee and it's a really nice day to be working outside, so this can be a lot of fun. I know I'm going to enjoy this. This is going to be kind of a basic build. I wanted something that was simple because like I said, I'm really not much of a builder or engineer. Sometimes I can come up with ideas and mostly I just try and help my husband make it work, you know. But today we're on our own for right now and we are going to try and build something that is triangular shaped with bars going across to hold buckets of strawberries. So I have about 25 plants that I'm going to order here soon for spring and I'm going to need a place to plant them and I just wanted them off the ground and something that would look pretty. So we're going to build something and it's hard to explain what I'm going to be doing, but I'm going to show you what we do and how we go about it, and pretty much hopefully it'll be kind of a tiered system of strawberry buckets and hopefully it'll look really nice, and most importantly hopefully it'll be practical, it'll stand, it'll stay, and it'll work. So this is very simple. We have 3 2x4s that are 8 feet long, 2 2x4s that are 10 feet long, and 3 bars of conduit. That's all we're going to need. So we're going to make it look a little prettier, so we have a little bit of paint and stain that we'll add once we've built it, then I'll go back. But I'm going to do that to really totally finish it. I don't think I'm going to finish this whole thing today, no way, especially with the paint and the stain, not a chance. But even the build, we'll see if we get through it today. But either way, I'm going to bring you along. So first, I want to make a rectangular frame for the bottom. And so as far as tools today, what we're going to need is screw gun I'm going to have a little drill on there to pre-drill my holes before I put in my screws, and then I'm also going to have kind of, I guess, either like a hole saw to drill through holes into the 2x4s for my conduit, and then also I have a miter saw back here, which I have not really had much experience with, so a little nervous on that, but it should all be fine. So we're going to get started, and what we're first going to do is build our rectangle. So I'm going to go cut a 2x4 and get it ready to build our frame for the ground. Okay, so what you can see here is we've got our miter saw. I don't have a table for it. I mean, I could put it on the work table, but we've got other projects over there, so I'm just putting it on the ground. That's simple enough for me. I'm going to take this piece of wood, this 2x4, it's 8 feet long. I'm going to cut it right in half to 4 feet because our rectangle is going to be 4 by 8. That makes it super simple, super easy as far as doing that math, and just made it a 4 by 8 so I could just cut this 2x4 in half and just go with it. So that'll be very simple. Yeah, so I'm just going to measure this up and I'm going to cut it. Easy as pie. Well, while I've got the saw out, what I'm going to do is also cut these 2 10-foot pieces right in half at exactly 5 feet each, and that'll be good for our triangular shaped part of the build. So I'm just going to do that and get the saw out of the way so we have room for building. Okay, so I'm going to create the frame for the bottom on the ground, and pretty much what this is going to do is I'm going to have a rectangular frame on the bottom, and that's going to be on the ground, touching the ground. And then I'm going to have it's not going to have a bottom to the triangle, but it's just going to be like this, almost like 2 teepee shapes with the 5-foot post on each 4-foot end of the rectangle. And I'm going to have conduit going down, and that's going to hold the buckets. I'm hoping the frame will keep those triangular shapes from spreading out too far, while the buckets push down weight on the triangular shape that will push it down. I'm hoping with this my mind, I'm hoping this works out with physics. We're going to find out. If it doesn't, then we'll just have to change and connect it to the frame. It's not going to be that big of a deal. It'll be very, very easy to fix. Hopefully, I might have to actually trim these 5-foot long ones a little bit more to make them more like 4.5 feet versus 5 feet. But we're going to go with it for now, making good progress, and it's going to go pretty fast, hopefully, from here. Okay, so my concern with the spot that I've had in mind, but it looks shady right now, but in the summer it'll be much more bright here. It doesn't, you probably can't tell from the camera, but it's actually a little bit sloped, and I just don't want it super sloped for the strawberries. So I'm gonna put it here for now, but it doesn't mean that we're not gonna just shift it to somewhere a little more level in the yard. But that will also not be super in the way. Okay, so I'm on to my next step here. What I'm trying to figure out is exactly where I should line these up and drill my hole for the pipe to go through. So I'm just trying to think of the best system to do this. I want these to be about center as best as I can. Okay, so you can't see it right here, but on this piece of wood, I've drawn a little circle of where I know I want one of the holes. After we've drilled this out, we're gonna use one of these paddles. I don't really know what this is called. I brought in reinforcements. So John's gonna drill through here and drill the hole in there. And we're doing a 3/4 inch hole for a 1/2 inch wide conduit. So he's gonna do that, and then we're gonna see where we want the other holes to be on the other 2x4s. Okay, now we've got a good, nice hole in our 2x4. Okay, so we are going to put our other 2x4 up next to this to draw a circle to see where exactly we want the next hole to be. And now we'll drill a hole in this next one, and we'll do that again for the other side, and we will connect them with the conduit. Okay, so as you guys can see so far, we're getting started. John thinks it's a good idea to just attach this to the base. He's probably right, he usually is. It's a little bit wobbly when you do that, but it won't fall down. But I was hoping the weight of the buckets would just keep it still, but I think it'll make it more secure. I think he's right, it'll make it more secure to screw these into the base. But we've got the first rod in just to kind of look and see what it's gonna be like. I think that's gonna be perfect. We're gonna put 2 more on the sides. Our buckets will hang, and we'll be able to easily pick our strawberries and get to them. And it's gonna be awesome. I'm really excited for how this is already turning out. Hey guys, okay, so we are back. It is the next day. My camera was dying, and we were kind of just like messing around with batteries and equipment and things like that yesterday, even with power tools. So anyways, we're back today. It is super windy, so bear with me on the wind. Hopefully it won't be too bad with the microphone. And let me show you what we've got done so far. We ended up taking a break last night for dinner and things, and I just figured it's gonna be such a beautiful day today. It's supposed to be a high of 65, which is such a blessing. And so, yeah, perfect day to keep working on this. So I'm gonna see if I'm gonna finish the whole staining and painting before I kind of show you guys what I've done. I'm not sure if the whole video will show that part or not, or if you'll see it next time when we are planting our strawberries. But either way, I'm gonna show you what we have so far. Okay, so you can see this so far. We've got our holes drilled through and our conduit going through. It seemed less wobbly last night. It's a little more wobbly, which is just showing that I am gonna have to screw this into the frame, which is okay, not a big deal and not hard at all. And that'll help keep this a little more steady. We want this kind of evenly distributed. It's also because I put the buckets on here and the wind is blowing, so that's good to know. We want this as secure as possible. I put some buckets on here just to give you the idea of how this is going to look. I plan on having 2-gallon buckets on here, but there's a 5-gallon bucket on here because I was trying to figure out the spacing for my next row. So we're gonna show you that next, what I mean by that. So once the dirt is in here, this will make these not so blowing around in the wind. They'll become much heavier. But what I'm trying to figure out is if I want to plan this out with 5-gallon buckets or 2-gallon buckets. I plan on doing the strawberries in 2-gallon buckets. If I do them in 2-gallon buckets, I can, I think, fit even more rows on here. But at the same time, I like the idea of being able to plan it with 5-gallon buckets. So I'm just kind of not sure exactly how I want to go about it. I'm deciding exactly where I want to drill my holes. I want everything to just work out really smooth and be able to be next to each other and no buckets covering the other buckets or shading them or anything like that. So I just want it to look nice and be practical, and I don't know whether I'll ever use this with 5-gallon buckets or not, but I like having the option. Okay, so if this kind of shows you what we've got here, we've got, you see our triangular shape coming up, and that is not connected at all to the frame. So what is keeping this up is just these drilled holes to the conduit for a pipe to go through, and the frame just keeps it from splitting out further from the triangle part, moving out and spreading out to be a wider base. And I think we are gonna have to screw those in because I just think that's gonna make it sturdier. But we're gonna add 2 more rows today, and we'll put our buckets on so we can just give a good look of what it's going to look like. See a good idea of what's gonna look like. And after that, we'll add more of the cosmetic aspect of that. And I think I'm gonna paint the pipe and stain the wood. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do that. I think that'll just make it look a little bit nicer. Okay, so you're not gonna be able to really see this super well. I can bring the camera down if need be, but all these holes, like where this wood is, all the holes line up exactly in the same place. And that makes sure that our conduit goes through nice and even when these are up against the wood. So when I do this, when I drill the next holes, I'm going to figure out where I'm going to put it, probably about halfway down. And then I'm going to drill the hole through the first one, and then I'm going to mark it on the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and keep going down. So I can drill through each one and make sure that they're going to be even, and make sure that our holes are nice and lined up so everything goes across and as level as possible. Okay, so I stood this up and I figured out where I wanted to go, and I marked that out with a pencil. I'm going to drill through with this. I'm doing a 3/4 inch paddle. It's, even though we're doing a 1/2 inch conduit, and that gave it a little more room to fit through. It's still pretty snug, and I think it's really the perfect size. I want this as even as possible, so I'm just going to mark the center here. Let me see here. I just want to try and get on center as much as possible. All right, got that one through. Could have done that a little cleaner, but that's all right. Okay, get this lined up again. Take my pencil, just draw about where that hole is, so I can do the next one. Okay, so we're gonna start setting up the rest of this. Get myself out of the sun a little bit. We're gonna start setting this up. I'm gonna show you what kind of our close to finished product looks like, give you an idea, and we're gonna put some buckets on here and get an even better idea of how well this is going to work. Guys, I'm really excited. This actually came together like really fast. I definitely could have finished this yesterday, but just kind of got slowed down. But this is really good. I definitely think that I'm gonna wanna attach this to the base, but I think when all the weight goes down on this, it'll be good to keep it really still. This is not going to fall over, but it will make it less, see how it kind of wobbles there. If I have it screwed in, that'll help it be more secure, but it's not going anywhere. This is awesome. I am a really bad engineer and builder, I feel like, most of the time. So when something works out, it's like, oh, cool, this is awesome. So I think this is going to work. We'll see. The real test will be this summer when we have plants in them and it's full of dirt and buckets. But I'm going to show you what it looks like with the buckets on so you can get the full picture of what we're doing with this. Okay, guys, so once again yesterday, man, just my timing, and this project would have honestly just taken a few hours on one day. It's just been because of the timing of what I've been doing and kids' naps and waking up and dinner when I've had time to do this. It's stretched out a few days. But I'm going to show you how we ended up attaching the buckets, because my original plan was to just slide the buckets on the conduit. What I wasn't thinking was the shape of the handle. The handle actually has something like a thicker part on the top of the handle, so it's more comfortable to carry instead of just being a flat strap. So we ended up tying like a lot of these like paracord like circles, making little like loops and tying the paracord together. And so we did that so that we can loop this on. It's called a cow hitch. And if you want to loop something around something else, you guys have done this with things. You go like that, and it'll hang from there. I'll show you how we do it on a bucket right now. So you take your handle, and you take your loop, and we're gonna take this, and I'm just going to put this other end through the hole that it creates and pull up. And then I'm gonna put that on the conduit, and this way it won't slide on the plastic at all. This makes it really tight on the handle. And so it'll be nice and in the center, it'll be nice and centered and hang really evenly. Let me show you what it was doing before before I put the paracord on. So you can see this bucket, it just wants to slide off and be uneven. And so that's really janky, so the paracord is gonna fix this really nicely. Okay guys, so I have put all the buckets on with the loops here. I think this is the best solution. I was looking at yesterday when I put them on and I saw that they were slipping down. I was so just discouraged by that. But I talked to my husband, I was trying to figure out, I thought, well, let me just get some like S hooks or things and tighten them with pliers around there and I can just hook them on and off. I still like the idea of being able to hook them on and off really easily. Like I like that better where I have to take the whole pole out for this. So we'll see, you know, this might change by the time the strawberries are planted. I'll just figure it out. But this was a really inexpensive solution, $3 for this. It's not really paracord, but paracord type rope from Harbor Freight for all these and a little leftovers. Really good deal, and just kind of an easy fix. So for right now, that's what it looks like. I was unsure whether I wanted to finish this video out without it being stained, without it being totally complete. But you know what? I think I'm going to, just to give you some ideas on how you can kind of aesthetically take buckets off the ground, lift them up and plant in them. You could, I mean, you could paint buckets, you could get more attractive buckets, but this is how I'm going to have my strawberries this year, and I'm really excited. I can fit at least 24 buckets on the inside of the triangle and some on the outside. I'm going to show you what our finished product kind of looks like, give you just a walk around of it. I don't have all my white buckets cleaned out and ready to go on there. I've got some that are stuck together that I think I'm going to bring into the house in a little bit and get them figured out, maybe soak them in hot water, but I'm going to show you what we've got here so far. Okay guys, the wind is blowing. I actually finally did get these done. I was going to finish the video with not all the buckets on, and I was going to just go scrub the buckets later and finish it and show you at a later time. But I'm going to show you the actual finished product here without stain, but all the buckets on, so you can get the idea of what this really is going to look like. And guys, I'm really pleased with it. You know, I was getting a little bit worried yesterday, but I am so happy with it. So yeah, this is gonna do great, and I'm excited. So I can easily reach, it's not too high. I can easily reach it here to pick the strawberries, to deal with them, and so can my kids, these lower ones here. That's awesome because my kids will be able to pick strawberries too on this, and it gets them off the ground, which I appreciate and like. And yeah, I just think this is gonna work really great. One of the benefits of this build is it gets the buckets off the ground, which helps keep away pests like rabbits and things like that from eating the strawberries, but also it makes it easier to pick for the kids and it makes it just look better than just buckets sitting on the ground. Some things I do just have the bucket sitting on the ground, but for a mass amount of strawberries, I think it makes it easier to pick and also just a little more attractive. Like I was also saying, you can kind of see I have some excess pipe on the ends, which I wanted to keep there just for stability, so it wasn't like just fitting evenly flush on here. I just liked that idea. Also, I was able to hang these 6 hanging pots, which I was trying to figure out where I was going to put them, and they'll have herbs in them, so they'll have like dill and thyme and basil and things like that in them. And they're not huge pots, but they should do fine for growing some herbs in, and yeah, I'm excited. And those will just hang there, and I was wondering where I was going to put those, so I'm happy to have an extra spot. So total on here, I will be holding about 30 plants. My strawberries come in bunches of 25, so I may just try and squeeze another bucket on there. I think I can do that. I think I can if I really tighten them up, but we'll see. And if not, it'll just go on the front porch and that should be fine. But yeah, guys, I am really happy with how this turned out. Super excited. Guys, thank you again for watching this video. Thank you for tuning in as I built this. It was pretty easy. I really think you could do this in an afternoon. And anyways, guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends, your family. Please like the video. And as always, please subscribe to the channel. It really is the best way to support us in creating this content for you. And guys, leave a comment below. Tell me what you think about this idea. Tell me if you've done anything like it. And hey, leave a comment. Let me know whether you think I should stain this or paint this or what I should do with this, or just leave it the way it is. I've got some stain, I've got some paint, but I've just not sure whether it's worth it or just should leave it plain. So we'll see. Let me know what you think if you have any opinions on that. Thank you guys again for watching. Until next time, we'll see you soon.